Today's kickoff for Plant City's campaign for economic development, it will define our future. I have some introductions to make, which really shows the tremendous work and planning that has gone into preparing for this day. Our community has come together in a very unique way and a powerful way around this campaign. I am pleased to introduce my fellow city commissioners in attendance this morning. They're all here. Just a quick point. If you add up the total tenure that we've all served on our city commission, we have a combined years of 70 years. Find another community that has that much consistency and leadership in its city commission, 70 years. I'm going to introduce them. Please hold your applause, but I would like them to all stand. This morning we have our Vice Mayor here, Bill Dawson. Bill, thank you for being here. Please stand. Commissioner Billy Kill, Commissioner Mike Spartman, Commissioner Mary Mathis. We also have our City Attorney, Ken Buckman, our City Clerk, Carrie Miller, our City Manager, Mike Herr, and our Assistant City Manager, Bill McDaniel, and many other department heads. If those department heads would stand as well, I'd appreciate it. And please show them your support, if you would, please. You know, I've served on several boards. I've served in several different companies. And I'll tell you, the staff that we have in this community and the commission, I'm so proud to serve with them because, you know, we have a unique opportunity in the city to be able to serve the entire community, not just a district. And it allows us to be able to put you first. And I'll tell you, the staff and the commission always puts you first in every decision we make. And it's an honor to be able to represent them here today and serve with them for the last 12 years. We also have some other dignitaries here today. One is our very own previous city commissioner and mayor. He's currently serving as state representative, Mr. Dan Rollerson. Dan, please stand. Thank you, Dan. And we had a friend that was in the county commission that was very supportive. When we were really building the gap and the bridges between the county and the city and trying to strengthen our relationship, a gentleman, a county commissioner, stepped up. His name is Mark Sharp. He's here today. And he really helped bridge those gaps and make that partnership between the county and city much stronger. Mark, we appreciate you, and we know that you're doing great work leading the Innovation Alliance right now as well. So thank you, Mark. Are you here, Mark? In the back? Thank you, Mark. We really appreciate it. I've already introduced them, but every once in a while you get a chance to have a leader come forward and really step in and do something quick and show a lot of passion. And I introduced him before, but I just want to single him out real quick. Mike Herr, would you stand one more time? And thank you so much for believing in our community and joining us and being our city manager. Thank you so much. From the Chamber of Commerce, I would like for you to welcome Michael Cameron, chair of the board, along with the other board members in attendance, and our president, Marion Smith, and her staff. Would y'all please stand? And thank you so much. All of you, please. When we had this idea, you know, many members, and they're all here, you saw them stood up, they accepted this challenge about 90 days ago. And it was a big challenge. And so when you see today's program, you're going to look at how much work this team put together to making today a reality in a 90-day time period. I think you'll be proud of them. During our breaks and so forth, please go up and thank them for their hard work. And from the city, we appreciate you and we thank you very much. The team with the Tampa Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation is represented today by their president and CEO, Mr. Rick Holmans. Rick, I want to thank you for all of you have done and the hard work you and your team has done to support the job creation in our community and your partnership with Plant City. Rick, would you please stand along with your staff? Back in the back of the room. Thank you, Rick. We also want to recognize our title sponsors. Today was not free. And we have many sponsors. A lot of them are listed here. They're listed on your program as well. Please thank them as you see them. But I also want to recognize our title sponsors. We have Lakeside Station, Platinum Bank, and Fried Egg Productions. They've made their support along with many other sponsors that have made it possible for today's kickoff campaign. We thank each of you for your leadership and vision on exactly what's possible in Plant City. Our partnerships are widespread on our efforts, and we are excited to include the county as well as much of the greater Plant City are located in the county service area. We have a video message from our County Commissioner, Stacy White. Please watch.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Plant City. I'm Commissioner Stacy White with the Hillsborough County Commission. On behalf of the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners, I want to welcome everyone to today's forum, where you'll learn more about the business and development opportunities that exist in Plant City. We're excited about the opportunities that exist in Plant City for locating, growing, and expanding business. We look forward to partnering with you as you look to do business in Plant City. Thank you again for coming. I can't be with you in person today because the Board of County Commissioners is in session, but you're in great hands, and I know that you'll leave just as excited as we are about the opportunities in Plant City for business and industry.
Thank you, Stacy. I also serve on the MPO with Stacy, and I'll tell you, he's new on the board, but he's hit the ground running, and he's a big friend to Plant City. It's an exciting partnership of all of those involved in preparing, positioning, promoting the opportunities in Plant City, and we appreciate our County Commission's work and all their support. Another important partner in developing and sustaining business is Tampa Electric and Peoples Gas. In July 2009, Gordon Gillette was promoted to president of both Tampa Electric and Peoples Gas, combining the functions of operations of gas and electricity under one management team for the first time at TECO Energy. Gordon originally joined Tampa Electric in 1981 as an engineer and worked in the production and planning areas. Gordon received his Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering from the University of South Florida in 1981 and a Master's of Science in Engineering Management in 1985. Please welcome our friend Gordon Gillette, President of Tampa Electric and Peoples Gas.
Thank you, Rick. Great to be with you here this morning and see so many friends from Plant City and the Hillsborough County Economic Development Community. With me here from TECO today are Laura Crouch, our Director of Community Relations, and Doug Driggers, who I think you all know very well. Can you guys stand for just a sec? In addition to my normal responsibilities at Tampa Electric, I'm very involved in the community and education, very involved on the USF Foundation and Hillsborough Education Foundation boards, but I'm also very involved in economic development, and I'm proud to be a board member of the Tampa Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation and Enterprise Florida. And I can tell you that, as everybody in this room knows so well in Florida, I think we've learned that we can be hit as hard or harder by tough economic times than other areas of the country. And I think we've also learned that economic development is key, and communities working together are key to mitigating the effects of recessionary times. The good news is, on the other hand, as growth is returning, we also are working together, and I know this community is working very well together to be competitive and attract jobs and investments to our communities. It's my pleasure to be a part of Tampa Electric's long history in supporting this very special community here in Plant City. We've been a part of this community since we began serving it in 1922, and Tampa Electric was founded in 1898. So we've been here in Plant City for most of our history. We're proud to be Plant City's utility partner, and we're also proud to be Plant City's partner in economic development as well. We view these roles as being very aligned, and we believe that fundamental growth in a community is good for the utility business as well. And we know that, along with the city who provides utility services, we have a responsibility to be there on schedule, on budget, with our utility services for new projects in this area. I wanted to share with you just a few minutes, a little bit of my philosophy on economic development. For many years in Florida, it seemed easy to grow our economy. And I think, like we were saying before, the recession has taught us in many ways that downturns can be tough, and like I said before, we can make a difference. And I think in order to be successful at growing both in tough times and in better times, it's important to have top-notch cooperation in the community, including public and private entities. And fortunately, we have great cooperation between Hillsborough County, City of Tampa, Plant City, and Temple Terrace, as well as our airport and our port. And as evidenced by the turnout that's here today, we've got great cooperation between the private partners in our community. And we know that it takes a public-private partnership in order to be as successful as we can be in economic development. Further, it takes a top-notch staff to be to be good in economic development. And I think we're very blessed, as Rick Lott said earlier, at the Tampa Hillsborough EDC, to have top-notch leadership in Rick Holman's and his leadership team. And they are doing a great job of the nuts and bolts work of attracting jobs and attracting investment to our community. It's only natural when things are going very well for a county like our county and our municipalities to kind of think bigger and broader and think about what's possible. And you may have heard that we're doing just that at the Tampa Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation. We're thinking about what we can do to attract new corporations and specifically corporate headquarters to our area. And we've got a committee formed and we're doing just that. But by the same token, I know from Tampa Electric's point of view and the point of view of the Tampa Hillsborough EDC, we appreciate that Plant City has its own interests and its own unique needs. Attracting good paying manufacturing and logistics jobs, healthcare jobs, and jobs in agriculture are probably higher on the list than attracting a big corporate headquarters to Plant City or attracting an international company to Plant City. Being in eastern Hillsborough County, Plant City's focus on and its business clusters for economic developments are probably more aligned with a lot of the Central Florida communities. And I can tell you in my Tampa Electric role just this past Friday, I was in Winter Haven at the CSX Intermodal Transportation and Warehousing Facility there. And I know that, by the way, that's a very impressive project for the Winter Haven community. And I know that you all in Plant City are looking at those kinds of opportunities as well. 3 years ago, Greg Horwoodell asked us at Tampa Electric and the Tampa Hillsborough EDC to get more involved in meeting the specific needs of Plant City. And as a result, both Tampa Electric and the Tampa Hillsborough EDC came together with Plant City to fund a dedicated position in support of Plant City's economic development. We were pleased to become more involved in that way, and I think that the people that have served in the Plant City role, including Jake Austin, who started out, and now Adam Myers, are moving the needle, we hope, for Mike Herr and Rick Lott, and doing a great job. From the standpoint of Tampa Electric specifically, we know that our job at Tampa Electric starts with providing good utility service. And I can tell you, we're not always perfect when it comes to that. A while back, Plastipac and Tafai and Bakery were talking to us and Plant City folks about the possibility of expanding their facilities, but they were worried about more than what they saw as more than their fair share of momentary electric outages at their facilities. And I can tell you our team at Tampa Electric, along with the folks in Plant City, worked very hard to rapidly rectify that situation. We took the customers' concerns very seriously, and we've installed new circuits and voltage control, and we patrol the circuits regularly out there along County Line Road. And I can tell you, and you know this, but Tampa Electric is focused on being reliable. We're focused on being a low-cost provider. And importantly, in the area of economic development, like I said, we're focused on being there when the new services are needed. And on that last point, we have in our capital budget to add what we've called the Park substation out south of Plastipac on County Line Road, south of 92. We have the dollars in our budget for this year and next year to do just that. So at Tampa Electric, we are focused on being the best that we can be for Plant City, both as your electric utility and as your economic development partner, and we think it works best when those things are aligned. And I know that I speak on behalf of all the folks from Tampa Electric that are here today, those that have worked for Tampa Electric in the past, like Johnny Dean Page, and the 80 Tampa Electric employees that live and work here in Plant City. When I say that we work for you, and we want to make Plant City, we want to be a part of making Plant City the best that it can be. Thank you very much.
Gordon, we really do appreciate you and your company. We thank you for your dedication to our community as well as your partnership in helping us in economic development. I'll tell you, it's really nice when you have a partner like Tampa Electric, because a lot of us take electricity for granted. But when you're in the business community, you're in the manufacturing business, you know, every second counts. And it's nice to know that we have the ability to pick up the phone, have the CEO jump to Plant City and jump onto and put himself on top of an issue and take care of it. It's a great partnership. And Gordon, we appreciate you very much and your team. Before I move forward, I have another individual that's here today, and he's a great partner. You know, we're very uniquely aligned. We have our partnerships in Tampa and Hillsborough County, and we have our brothers and our sisters to the east of us in Polk County and Lakeland. And a group that's done a great job in economic development is the Lakeland Economic Development Council. And their director's here today, and he's been a great partner for us and a great friend, and he's really been a big help to us. And Steve, I'm not sure where you're sitting at, but Steve Shrugs is here today. Could you please stand? He's up front. Steve, thank you so much for being here today. It's amazing what we can do when we work together, isn't it? We can all be better. Another important piece of the puzzle is our regulatory agencies, and we continue to work hard to ensure a strong relationship and open communication with Southwest Florida Water Management District. That's a big one. We are pleased to have SWIFMUD's Executive Director, Robert Beltran, with us today. Robert is a professional engineer with nearly 2 decades of experience helping clients to design and permit solutions for their water and wastewater needs. Robert holds a bachelor's degree in civil engineering and a master's degree in environmental engineering from Tulane University. Robert became the executive director of SWIFMUD in September of 2013 and also leads the solutions team for Central Florida Water Initiative, a multi-jurisdictional effort to ensure an adequate water supply in our 5-county region. If you would, please welcome Robert Beltran, Executive Director of SWIFMUD. Robert.
Good morning. What a great event we're here today to celebrate the opportunities that are available to us all as we continue to grow and enjoy the beauties and natural pristineness of what we love and here, which is the water resources of our great state. My name is Robert Beltran. I'm the Executive Director of the Southwest Florida Water Management District. But I wanted to start by thanking the Mayor, the City Manager, for inviting us here today to continue this dialogue of open communications and working together moving forward. Our district covers a 16-county area when it comes to water resources, and we specialize and work on 4 areas of responsibility, which include water supply, natural systems, flood protection, and water quality. Again, those are important elements as we continue to look at economic opportunities moving forward and how do we grow in a responsible way, balancing those needs between the nature of the needs and the economic needs and the human needs. And so that really gets us to a topic of how do we value our water and what do we look from our water and our resources, and how do we value this in our everyday lives. And we've done a lot of work at the district to understand that, because we think it's important when we have open communications, we understand what people value and how they move forward, so we can make sure that everyone understands what the proper message is. But when we did our research, and I'll be honest with you, financial security, happiness, peace of mind were at the top. Those were the 3 major efforts or values that people had in our community. Water was way down there. But do we really value water and what that means for those 3 things we do value? What would happen tomorrow if we opened our faucets and there was no water coming out of there? Our communities, our leaders of our local utilities have done a great job in providing us that resource, and do we really understand what that value of that resource is? That dynamic is quickly changing in our state, and we need to continue to try to address that moving forward. What would happen if tomorrow we opened up our well pump and we weren't able to irrigate our fields? That would be a major economic driver to our financial security, our happiness, and our peace of mind. Water drives our agricultural needs. It promotes an affordable cost of living and supports our growing communities and our business needs. Without water, we don't have economic development. Without water, we don't have our better communities. Without water, we don't have financial security, quality life, happiness, or peace of mind. So without sustainable water supply, we cannot move forward. And so our district really tries to keep that balance in between the nature needs and the human needs. And we've done a lot to understand that customer service element. I will tell you, for the last 3.5 years since I've been at the district, our response time on permitting needs has gone from 30 days to 11 days. We are out there working and talking with our community, and I just wanted to take a second to recognize Stella Gray, our government affairs person. Stella, could you please stand up? Stella's out in your community and making sure she understands what it is what are those projects you're working on. What is it you need from the district to make sure we're all successful and we grow responsibly? So how do we address our water supply needs at the district? Well, I talked a little bit about water supply planning. Last month at our governing board meeting, we adopted our regional water supply plan is now out for comment. That is the roadmap of how we plan on sustaining water supplies over the next 20 years and where those new water resources will be coming from. We are a regulatory agency, but we also believe in providing economic financial support on water resource projects. Our district has done more good by partnering and providing financial assistance to move that ball on the resource side than we would by doing any kind of regulation elements. And that truly is our mantra. We want to be sure that we're there with you as a partner, and I got some great examples of that. We have worked with the city of Plant City on their reclaimed water project. We spent $2.1 million on a reclaimed water project with the city that will provide 550,000 gallons per day of reclaimed water, which will then offset 400,000 gallons per day that are coming out of the ground today. People that will enjoy that reclaimed water will include golf courses, residents, hospitals, ball fields, and that project is currently on its way and under construction. We look at natural systems and what that means to us when we go out to our parks and we look at the beauty that we live in every day here in the state of Florida. A great example of where the district again has partnered with the city and others. Lake Thonotassa, the largest lake in Hillsborough County. For our district, we call it a swim priority water body, which means it's top of the list to make sure we get that water quality right. Over the last several years, we've been able to reduce the phosphorus levels going into that lake by 60%. Huge water quality driver going towards that lake and the quality of that water. And we continue to do more work. We're doing feasibility studies on the West Side Canal and what its impacts are on that water body and how do we continue to move that ball and that needle forward. Again, we could do that with regulations, but we find it to be much more effective doing it through partnerships and cooperatively funding the science and the engineering that needs to happen in order to make sure we have that sustainable water supply we all enjoy and love every day. And then also on flood protections. You're probably very aware of our watershed management plans where we're looking regionally at watershed and stormwater runoff and what occurs with that, and then helping set what are those big projects we need to do together to make sure that we don't have flooding risks, flooding issues. We also do a little bit of that through our ERP program, making sure that as these developments come and this economic opportunity continues to grow, that we are not changing the water flow or the water patterns that historically we've seen. That's extremely important. But it's also important to make sure we look back and learn from our past and invest and make changes. And in 2010, we had 11 straight days of freeze going on, which led to groundwater withdrawals that caused sinkholes and drying of many wells. We don't know if that will happen again, and we can't anticipate the climate or the forecast of what might occur, but we can plan for it. The district has spent over $1.7 million in automatic meter readings to provide the data to the farmers in the agricultural industry to understand when they need to turn those pumps on, when they shouldn't be putting those pumps on. Again, another great example of partnership with the community to make sure that we're working together. In addition to that, we spent $2.2 million in what we call our FARMS program, our Facilitate Agricultural Resource Management Systems, where we're partnering with farmers to help them recycle some of their irrigation water potentially, or do other innovative strategies to help maximize that water benefit and implement best management practices. Again, we have 22 projects that are freeze protection projects. A total of 33 projects are being done in this area to the tune of $2.2 million. I can't stress to you, coming from the private side of the world many years ago before I came to the district, how important I have found partnership and collaboration to work for everybody. It's in everybody's self-interest to work together. Water supply no longer is a local issue. It is no longer a Plant City issue or a Hillsborough County issue or a Lakeland issue or a Polk County issue. It is a regional issue, and we need to look at it from a regional perspective and work together. Another one of our great partners was just here before me in the TECO. We have funded $45 million in a reclaimed water project to bring new water supply to the TECO power plant. Again, another great public-private partnership we brought together to serve the needs of the citizens of this area. So as we move forward, we want to work together. We want to make sure we're sharing our information clearly. We want to communicate, reach out to Estella, let her know what's happening. And we want to be your partner to make sure that we have a sustainable water supply moving forward and good economic growth for our great state. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your time today.
Plant City means home. It's neighbors and neighborhoods coming together. It's families that want the best for their children. With an arm wrapped around the historic, the spirit of the charming, the camaraderie of community, with leaders committed to its future, with an eye on growth. Plant City, right now. Nestled on the outskirts of Tampa in the warm Florida sunshine lies Plant City. Centrally located, Plant City has 4 exits along Interstate 4, easily connecting our commerce to the rest of the state in the southeast region. We also have ready access to CSX rail lines, which come through our community with a convergence of both S and A lines, moving product north-south and east-west. Many existing businesses take advantage of both rail and highway to maximize their reach. Plant City has a local airport that's able to accommodate large turbine multi-engine general aviation aircraft with a runway of 4,000 feet, and Tampa International Airport, which is consistently ranked as one of the top airports in the country for customer satisfaction. The Port of Tampa is also a close partner of the city and can help move your product to an international market. The education of our children is a top priority in Plant City. We have a rigorous STEM academy at Tomlin Middle School.
Tomlin has had a STEM academy now for 4 years where students, through an application process, apply to be a part of that academy. Those classes are rigorous, and it gives them the opportunity to visit numerous community partners and businesses within our area.
Plant City is proud of its 3 area public high schools, including an IB school, all broadcasting high ratings. Hillsborough Community College has one of 5 campuses located in Plant City, which co-locates with the Career Source Training Center to prepare and place talent with local industry. The University of South Florida, the University of Tampa, Polk State College, and the new Polytechnic University all serve our area to ensure rigorous preparation for the job force. Access to cutting-edge health care is one of the many attributes of Plant City. South Florida Baptist Hospital is growing with the community.
South Florida Baptist is a 147-bed hospital. Our focus not only is on the high-tech services, but also on the compassionate care that we provide to the citizens of Plant City.
With a diverse array of specialists, many are expanding their practice and partnering with USF to offer the latest treatments and the highest quality of care. A point of pride in Plant City is our stellar community safety programs and services. Chief Ed Duncan oversees a police force that views their role as going beyond public safety.
We have a great interaction with the community. We have a lot of community involvement as far as neighborhood watch program. So they have a big buy-in to what we're trying to do in our community, and that's to make it safe.
Neighborhood watches and a strong partnership with our officers has helped to keep crime low and ensure safety and tranquility in our neighborhoods. The 13th Judicial Circuit has a branch courthouse fully staffed to conveniently serve our community. Our first responders include our fire rescue teams housed at 2 firehouses. They take a lot of pride in serving our community as dedicated professionals. A dynamic community with many opportunities to enjoy the great outdoors. The beautiful locations of Plant City offer a variety of parks and recreational activities. Whether the kids want to play in one of the many youth sports leagues, you're looking for the perfect jogging trail, or you're ready for a challenging round of golf, Plant City has something for everyone. Area attractions also appeal to all ages. The kids can discover ancient dinosaurs at Dinosaur World, and adults enjoy a night out at Keel and Curly Winery, which features locally produced award-winning wine and craft beer. The community also hosts several annual events, including the Florida Strawberry Festival, which attracts over 500,000 visitors, and the Kansas City Barbecue Society sanctioned Pig Jam. Plant City's heritage is alive and cherished in our community, with a thriving downtown full of a variety of shops with treasures for everyone. The kids can find treats and fun with friends, while mom and dad shop and enjoy all that our quaint downtown offers. Many of our shops feature local artists and are a destination for collectors, artisans, and the discerning shopper. McCall Park also hosts many events throughout the year for residents and out-of-town visitors. Trains come alive as we celebrate their impact in developing and sustaining our town, as visitors enjoy a downtown museum and train viewing platform. With a variety of types of housing, you're certain to find the right fit for your needs. From modern apartments and townhomes, country estates and farms, planned developments, and our historic homes, Plant City's housing market has many options to ensure you find your dream home in your new hometown. The winters are short and the days are long here in Plant City. It's an area with easy access to modern, top-notch healthcare, education, and recreation, with thriving business because of its central location and accessible transportation. In Plant City, there are smiling faces because life is good. Welcome to Plant City, right now.
I love that video. Don't you? I think what I like about it best is every time I watch it, you can't help but notice how many moving parts it takes for us to be able to have a community, a city, to evolve and be able to work like this, and be able to deliver the quality of life that we do. It makes you realize that when you think maybe you're a little bit important, you're really not, that it takes every single one of us to do our thing every single day to make it happen. And I think this video makes it very apparent. It takes all of us. So I want to thank all of you for being a part of Plant City and this video. I also want to give Yvonne Fry and her group. They created that video, Fried Egg Productions, and I thought you really knocked it out of the park. So thank you, Yvonne, and your group. In November of 2012, the city of Plant City partnered with Tampa Electric to invest in the Tampa Hillsborough Economic Development Council, Rick Holman's leadership group, in order to have a business development manager in Plant City, focused on economic development efforts in eastern Hillsborough County. Adam Myers joined the EDC as Plant City's business development manager after spending 2.5 years working in economic development in Pensacola, Florida. Adam is here today to talk to you about the various reasons on why Plant City is ready for economic development and how we are ready to partner with you to bring new jobs and investment to our community. Please welcome Adam Myers.
Well, thank you, Mayor Lott, and thank you all for joining us today. As Mayor Lott said, I'm Adam Myers. I'm with the Tampa Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation, and I came onto the EDC back in October of 2012 to be a business development manager here in the Plant City and eastern Hillsborough County area. Today, I just want to talk to you about why Plant City is situated for growth and all the different development opportunities here in Plant City. To start, I want to talk about just who Plant City is and kind of give you a basic little rundown of what the demographic picture looks like in the city. What you'll find here in Plant City is a population of about 37,000 with a labor force of about nearly 18,000 here within the city limits. But as we all know, Plant City is a part of a greater region here within Central Florida. And what I'd like to do is take a look at Plant City within just about a 20-mile radius from the city center. Here, you'll see Plant City has over 1 million people within that 20-mile radius. When you talk about the age range, you're looking at about over 53% of that population falls within the ages of 20 to 59, right in that labor force picture. So again, looking at that labor force and looking at Plant City as a greater region, that is an important key to their success here, is they're going to be able to have the talent as well as the population here to support growth and new business needs. Again, as we talk about that labor force, you're looking at a labor force of over 520,000, and you can see to the right there the educational attainment here in the community. What's important about that labor force is that nearly 18,000 employees can be found in production occupations, with another 21,000 involved in transportation and material moving. And that's important as it aligns with those target industries for Plant City. When you talk about Plant City being really a key strategic location involved in manufacturing, agribusiness, as well as distribution, logistics, and supply chain management. And to help support that workforce, we have nearly 80 different universities, technical training centers, and community colleges here within the community that can provide workforce training and services for those businesses to help you find the talent that you're looking for business opportunities in Plant City. As we talk about industry here in Plant City, we know that we are a strategic location for manufacturing, agribusiness, as well as distribution logistics, and we're also a proven location for companies that are involved in these types of operations. When you look here, you can see some of the companies that are already here in Plant City. Names like Gordon Food Services that are operating out of a 1 million square foot distribution warehouse, servicing restaurants as like P.F. Chang's, Chipotle, as well as hospitals and school districts with food products. You see companies that are involved in plastics manufacturing like Plastipack and M&M Packages, or M&M Plastics, as well as Highland Packaging Solution. You'll see folks involved in food production, such as Defiant Bakery and Paradise Fruit Company. Really, our economy here is diverse in Plant City, and that makes it one of the key reasons why we feel that this is a strategic location for business, is because of that diversity here of the businesses that already exist in Plant City. And what I'm happy to say is that you'll hear from some of these businesses here later on throughout the program. In looking at our recent successes here in the community, in the past year alone, 8 companies have chosen to expand or locate operations here in Plant City, totaling about 718 jobs in the community and bringing about $152 million in capital investment. You can see here some of the companies that have chosen to expand, most recently, such as a company like Cody Talbert Distribution, who is involved in e-commerce operations for the RV industry, to companies like James Hardie that are involved in cement fiber siding and what they call Hardie board production here in Plant City. Now, one of the things that you'll hear about Plant City, and really the reason why it is poised for the success, is location. Location is critical for Plant City, being centrally located in I-4, right in between 3 thriving metro areas throughout the region, with Tampa, Lakeland, and Orlando. You can see you're 10 miles to I-75, you're 20 miles to 275, and about 94 miles to I-94, and you have 4 exits situated along I-4. You're going to be able to move product around in an efficient manner in Plant City, going east to west as well as north-south to reach not only the southeast region, but also the entire eastern coast. You also have a network of highways and state road systems here in Plant City. And one of the things I love about Plant City is its access to rail and this convergence of CSX S and A lines here in the community. And many of our companies here in Plant City utilize CSX rail system and will be able to tell you about the importance that the rail system provides here in the community. You also have various transportation assets here in Plant City and around the region, with 6 airports within a 50-mile radius, including 3 cargo facilities at Tampa International, Orlando International, and St. Pete Clearwater, as well as regional, municipal, general, and aviation facilities at Lakeland Linder, Tampa Executive, and Plant City Municipal Airport. In addition, you have direct rail access and are 24 miles away from Port Tampa Bay, as well as connection to not 1, but 2 CSX intermodal facilities, 1 in Tampa and 1 in Winter Haven. And that is huge here for the community. Again, location and transportation, being able to move your product around efficiently. So now we wanted to touch base with you and talk about the development opportunities here in Plant City. And the first thing I'd like to do is show you a map here that shows development opportunities in about 6 corridors here in Plant City. And these are opportunities that we've identified that are perfect for the type of target industry business that we're trying to attract here in Plant City, as well as retail operations around State Road 39 corridor heading south of the city. So one of the things I'd love to do here is, as you can see, we have nearly 3,000 acres available for sites that are zoned industrial and commercial, as well as these red dots show you various existing buildings here that are available to fit your needs. We have cold storage facilities that are currently on the market, as well as warehouse and distribution operations on the market from as small as 5 to 10,000 square feet up to 250,000 square feet. And so what I'd like to do is, if you have a property in the audience and are representing one of these sites or one of these properties, could you please raise your hand? See, and the reason why I wanted to showcase that is to show you that we have the people here today that have these sites here that are wanting to talk to you and ready to do business with you and talk about their site and see how it matches with your prospect. When taking a look at the corridors individually, you want to start with Lakeside Logistics Park. That is nearly 1,400 acres and nearly 7 million square footage of industrial entitlements here in the community, as well as over 315,000 square feet of commercial entitlements. It is a development of regional impact here in the community, and it already is home to existing operations such as Star Distribution, Evergreen Packaging, and Tarmac Titan construction cement facilities. Along Park Road, you have an additional 180 acres of available sites that total over 3.3 million square feet of industrial entitlements. Again, looking at these businesses that are here, you have CNS Wholesale Grocers that recently had located in a former Sweet Bay distribution facility. You have companies like Gordon Food Services, Highland Packaging, International Paper, in one of the city's premier business parks in the Walden Woods Business Center. One of the hottest corridors around I-4 and the Central Florida corridor is County Line Road. You can see that with recent announcements by Amazon, by O'Reilly's, with existing businesses like Plastipack and Save-A-Lot Distribution Center. You can see new developments like Central Florida Development is in the process of constructing a 100,000 square foot speculative building, as well as the city had recently made investments to extend water and sewer along the County Line Road corridor, and the city will be up here later to be able to talk to you about the investment that they're making. One of the things that is key for this area, with that acreage, you have the potential for nearly, apologize, I lost my train of thought here, but for over nearly 4,000 jobs at just half build out of that development. And that is a huge potential here in the community. Nearly 7,000 jobs just along I-4 along those sites here in the community at full build out. Along I-4 itself, you do have properties that front I-4, such as 30 acres right there on the corner of I-4 and County Line Road, as well as another 100 acres there in the Eastland Business Park, just situated to the west of that. Total, you're looking at about 250 acres of development opportunities there, with companies like Linder Industrial Machinery, which is a corporate headquarter along the I-4 corridor, as well as Ready Ice and Palm Harbor Homes. The Airport Industrial Park area is one of Plant City's oldest and most proven industrial sites in the community, with companies like James Hardie Building Products, Sunshine State Dairy, as well as Dart Container, and many others that are located along the airport. There's still opportunity to grow here, with 32 acres available just south there along Sydney Road, and then another 59-acre site that has a 265,000 square foot former Smithfield facility that is available right now. Again, for the State Road 39 corridor, that is a region that is a proven retail corridor here in the community and has available opportunities to grow with over 250 acres for potential commercial developments along the 39 corridor. So when looking at developing in Plant City, let's look at some of the reasons what the city has done to help lower those development costs, including expediting permit and really creating a development review process that will bring all the development parties together at the table to help you expedite that permitting process and get those approvals at one time. You will also have a current moratorium on transportation and mobility impact fees. For instance, with James Hardie, with their expansion, that impact fee moratorium alone saved them $37,000 on their development in the community. In addition, the city has adopted what is being called the I-4 Tech Overlay District. What that does is it allows opportunities for developers within these areas for greater development intensities in terms of the square footage that's allowable on your site, as well as more flexibility in the land use code and a streamlined approval process that goes through the city manager's office themselves. In Plant City, one of the things I'm most proud about is the strategic partnerships you'll find in the community, with partners such as the Greater Plant City Chamber of Commerce, the Small Business Development Center, Tampa Electric and Peoples Gas, as well as Hillsborough Community College and the Tampa Hillsborough EDC. There are partners here that are all here supporting your business and wanting to work with you to not only help locate your business, but help you grow and expand here in Plant City. And we're ready and willing to work with you. As Mayor Lott had said, since November of 2012, Plant City and TECO made the investment into the EDC for a focused Plant City business development manager, bringing the resources of the EDC out here to Plant City to help support businesses grow and expand here in the community. So again, Plant City is right now. We are ripe for development. You can see the reasons why. We have the best location here along Central Florida, being a part of a region with strategic growth and partners that you can see the success from. We have the right talent pool here to grow and expand. And we also have many development opportunities here that are just ripe and poised for success in the community. I want to thank you all again for your time today. Please feel free to come see us. Feel free to visit our website at plantcityrightnow.com. We're here to help answer any questions that you may have and work with you to help grow and expand business here in the community.
Thank you, Adam. For the last decade, I think you can tell that the commission and the staff have been hard at work. You know, your commission is made up of 4 entrepreneurs and, more importantly, 1 educator. And everyone understands that time is money. And so we've been hard at work preparing for today's meeting, making sure that the projects we have up here are as close as possible to shovel ready as possible, because we understand that time is money. And so we're ready to do business. And hopefully you see that or saw that in the presentation. His presentation, the rest of the information from the day will be featured on the campaign website, plantcityrightnow.com, and will continue to be updated to connect you with current details on the properties here. It's also listed on the front of your program as well. Please take that home. Up next, we have our host, Dr. Martin Clay, or his friends call him Marty, from Hillsborough Community College. Dr. Clay joined HCC as the president of the Plant City campus in the summer of 2012. He has over 18 years of higher education experience, including 11 years in senior administration in higher education. Here today to show you how Hillsborough Community College can support your business in finding and training the talent you will need to support your businesses. Please join me in welcoming our friend, Dr. Martin Clay.
This is an extremely exciting day for Plant City. And I have to tell you that I am personally tremendously excited to be able to come up here and talk to you for just a few minutes about what Hillsborough Community College has been able to do, is able to do now, and will continue to be able to do in the future to support the economic development of Plant City and the Hillsborough County region. Right now, Plant City's campus here in the Hillsborough Community College campus in Plant City has about 5,000 students. We belong to an organization with over 40,000 students among 5 campuses across Hillsborough County. So we are a very large and vibrant piece of the community. So what does a community college do for you here? What does a community college do for you anywhere? The most visible thing that I think people see from a community college is the 2-year part of a 4-year degree. We do that here and we do it very well. We support economic development for the region. We even here on the Plant City campus have the Career Source facility for Hillsborough County, which is just the most convenient asset in the world to have on a community college campus. We also do have enrichment opportunities for the people that live in Plant City. It's important for the families, the retirees, the people who are just looking for something to do. We provide everything from yoga classes, the genealogy, to just anything else you can imagine. We also do a lot more. We support those individual learning needs, and we support the needs of people trying to retrain in new skills. Let's say you're running a distribution facility and you need truck drivers, you need them fast. You can come to us and we can provide those truck drivers for you. We can put together a program for you that will get you CDL trained people within a 4 to 5 week period and have them on the road and have that pipeline open for you for as long as you need it. We provide certificate programs that provide short-term training opportunities for people who want to train in skills like welding and automotive repair. All of those things we can do. If we can't do it on our campus, we have it on other campuses, and we can import and export those skills as necessary. So for the next couple of minutes, I want to introduce Dr. Ginger Clark, who is our Vice President for Workforce Development, and she's going to tell you a little bit more specifically about how we can meet those workforce needs. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. I told Dr. Clay that he was running a great risk by inviting me, because once I start talking about workforce, it's hard to get me to stop, but I promise I will stay on time and keep us on schedule this morning. And let me see if I can work the technology here. Whoop. There we go. Let me just give you sort of a broad overview of the workforce division at HCC. I think sometimes one of the things we hear in the community is that we do not do a good job of telling our story and what we are about. So hopefully when you leave today, you'll have a sense of what that story is. We are one of the largest workforce divisions in the state of Florida in terms of community colleges. We offer over 160 different degree and certificate programs. I've provided you with a sense of what our largest programs are, including the health sciences, information technology, engineering, and business, as you might imagine. And certainly those growth areas are also aligned with what you are seeing here in Plant City in terms of high demand growth occupations. We also offer certificate programs that are less than 2 years, but which provide students with high value certifications in a particular industry. It's just really interesting to me how you look at economic development in a region and you look at your training programs, and there's so much symmetry there, because one of the things that's happened at HCC in terms of growth and specialization is in the transportation sector. We have a workforce center now which features programs in automotive services technology, also a bus transit technology program, automotive repair and recovery type businesses. And we're also in the early stages of talking with a major national employer about an automated people mover system in which we'll also provide training out of this same center. So the transportation sector is really growing for HCC and will continue to do so. Also, we have, I think I mentioned the Welding Program, which was a partnership that we did with the Port of Tampa and also Tampa Tank, really driven by their needs here in the local community. And then one of the things that I think people also may not realize is that HCC trains the majority of first responders in this region. So if you, and I hope you don't end up in the hospital, but if you do, my guess is Just ask the nurse or the EMT or the paramedic, and chances are they will have been trained at HCC, and we're very proud of that. But let me take just a final few minutes here to talk about some really specific types of training programs that we are currently engaged in. And I think they exemplify the ways in which the college reaches out to the community to determine what are the labor force needs, talking with those employers directly, and then bringing other strategic partners together. Just a couple of years ago, CareerSource conducted a skills gap analysis in the area of manufacturing. Based on the results of that survey, the Hillsborough County EDC, along with Hillsborough Community College and the School District of Hillsborough County and manufacturing employers came to the table to begin talking about what are the specific types of employees that are needed in these manufacturing firms, what are the skill sets that are required. Based on that and based on the collaboration among all of us, we are developing a manufacturing academy. And this will begin by targeting students as early as the 8th grade, because one of the real challenges we all face is changing the perception of manufacturing. It's not the manufacturing of the 60s and 70s, but it's advanced manufacturing technologies we're focused on. So it's about changing mindsets related to manufacturing, not only among students, but also parents, and then creating career pathways where those students can move from the school district to HCC and then on to USF for a 4-year degree if they so choose. So we're very excited about that partnership and all the collaborators who are at the table. One of the other types of training programs we're currently involved in and strategic partners that we have includes USF and the Center for Urban Transportation Research. They approached us about 3 years ago and indicated that there was a great need for entry-level transit technicians across the state. And they invited HCC to develop a curriculum that would meet that training need. So we sat down with the folks at Cutter, sat down with the employers at the regional transit agencies, and we developed the first statewide curriculum in bus transit technology for the state of Florida. Currently, HCC is training the entry-level employees for 3 of the 5 regional transit agencies across the state of Florida. We're very proud of that and hopefully expanding it to all 5 here very soon. And then finally, I couldn't talk about workforce development without talking about our partnership with TICO, because it is one of the longest and I think most productive partnerships that we have had. And what happened here was quite simply, TICO approached us several years ago and said, we would like to facilitate the attainment of degrees for our employees who maybe do not yet have that 2-year degree or 4-year degree. And we sat down and we put together a program whereby HCC delivers an accelerated AS degree program at the TICO site. They have classes every night. They have classes on Saturdays. And it's just a joy to go to their graduation, to see these people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who are earning college degrees now. And we've taken that TICO model, and that's what we call it. And we are now transitioning that model to other employers in the region. So I share these 3 examples with you, both to just give you a sense of what we're doing at the college and how we're responding to local, regional, and statewide needs, but also hopefully conveying to you that we are very dynamic and innovative. If you have a need, we will sit at the table with you. We'll talk about your desired outcomes in terms of a labor force, and we will put together a program that will produce successful outcomes for you. So I thank you for your time this morning, and I would certainly welcome conversations with all of you. Thank you very much.
Star Distribution is a third-party logistics company. We manage supply chain for about 120, 130 different customers throughout the United States and the world.
Nestle, LG, Train, Ingersoll Rand, Abbott Nutrition, those are just to name a few.
Centrally located here in Plant City, we can definitely service the entire Southeast, from Texas to Tennessee, all the way up to North Carolina. Close to interstates, we're on the CSX rail line, and it really allows us to service our customers and their customers with next-day transportation. The best thing about Plant City is it's the people. This is a family-based operation, and everybody that works here is family. We currently have about 250 employees at our facility here. The people make our company who we are. We've had people here for as long as 30, 40 years. Plant City, bar none, has the best talent in the Central Florida market. Plant City gives us the opportunity to grow and expand as needed. The city has worked with us hand in hand to help us and guide us to get our company to where it is today. What's unique about Plant City is it allows us the opportunity to really expand. There's a lot of land, there's a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of people. To be able to grow and to become more accessible for our customers, that is something that is unbeatable, and I think it's all contributed to Plant City.
Plant City, right now.
One of the many growing businesses here is Star Distribution. They exemplify the spirit of our community, and we welcome you to reach out to them and the other businesses that are profiled here today to learn more about their experience as a corporate citizen in Plant City. You know, as an entrepreneur myself, and all of us as entrepreneurs, sometimes when you're looking at the reasons why you should move forward, why you should expand, why you should start a business, why you should grow, I think that something's happened in recent history is, I know when I have my conversations, you go, how can government negatively affect me in helping me reach my company's goals? Does anyone ever feel that way? Do you ever think about that? How can government slow me down? How can they affect this? How can they keep me from reaching our goals? Hopefully what you'll see here today is you won't find that attitude in Plant City. We're your corporate partner, we're your municipal partner, and we want to help you grow, help you exceed, and we want you to look at us as your partner, not your adversary. So please reach out to all of our business partners, and I think you'll see that attitude amongst all of them. At this time, I'm excited to introduce a dynamic leader that is bringing new energy, great new energy, to our community. Our city manager, Mr. Mike Herr. He began his service in September 2014, just a mere 7 months ago. Mike comes to Plant City with 35 years of local government, administrative experience, including most recently serving as the City of Tampa's Public Works and Utility Services Administrator. Mike's history in local government also includes having served as the county manager for Polk County and previously as their transportation director. Mike earned a Bachelor of Science degree from Indiana University. He also received the Florida City and County Management Association Award for Career Excellence in 2009. Today, Mike joins us to discuss how Plant City has and continues to provide a business-friendly environment for businesses in Plant City. Please join me in welcoming our city manager, Mr. Mike Herr.
I need to make a correction. I graduated from Indiana State University, where Larry Bird told Bobby Knight he didn't want to go to Indiana University. It is a pleasure to be here today, and one of the messages I think you've heard throughout our morning is the mayor talking about the collaborative relationship that we wish to have with the private sector with respect to local government. And our department heads are here today. Many of the department heads that you'll be doing business with when you move your plans through our development review process. Our assistant city manager is here, our building director is here, our planning and zoning director is here, our utilities director is here, our city engineer is here, just to name a few. And the reason that they're here today is because we want to be able to demonstrate to you by our presence and by our ability to communicate with you that we want to help you. We believe in facilitating and not regulating. I also want to talk about a member of the team that really is important. And he gives us very good legal advice. And he has demonstrated in my brief time here that he wishes to facilitate and not always regulate. And that's our city attorney, Ken Buckman. The city commission, let's give them a round of applause here. Our city commission invested in having a full-time city attorney, and I think that's very important for just a lot of reasons. And I don't want to overlook our Parks and Recreation director. People say that, well, gee, parks aren't important. I'll be doggone, they are important because parks speak volumes about the quality of life, that when men and women choose to live someplace and open a business, open a factory, open a storefront, whatever the case might be, do you have a quality park system for people to live, work, and play? And we do. All right. Well, of course, Plant City has these things. You've seen that we have leading companies in the fields of manufacturing and distribution. We do have entrepreneurial business partners here. We have an efficient transportation system to support economic partnerships. We believe in safe and clean neighborhoods, and that's important because when people are looking to locate a business, what's your crime rate like? Well, I'll tell you, we've got a top chief of police in Ed Duncan. Our law enforcement officers are well trained, and our neighborhoods are safe and they're clean. We have a code enforcement department that consists of a director and 2 inspectors. And I'm going to tell you something. I've been in jurisdictions where I've had the responsibility for leading, and 12 code enforcement officers couldn't get done what these 3 individuals do on a daily basis with respect to keeping our neighborhoods clean. So we're really proud of that work ethic and the results. State-of-the-art healthcare system here with South Florida Baptist Hospital, and A+ schools and Hillsborough Community College campus. What a contribution they're making. And a charming downtown and historic housing district. But what really sets us apart I don't know, that doesn't want to work. There we go. Sorry. Starting at the top, elected officials committed to responsible development. We have 4 city commissioners, the mayor said have been serving our city for several years now. 4 of them are private sector people, so they understand what it takes to make a buck. And they also understand what it takes to try to balance that delicate balance between making sure that we have a quality community to live in and that we attract quality development. And so 4 of those commissioners are from the private sector. And the 5th one, Commissioner Mary Mathis, who's here today, she probably had to go back to school. But she's an assistant principal. And day in and day out, she spends her time making sure that every student receives a quality education at Marshall Middle School. The city team committed to value-added private sector projects. You've already heard the story about our proximity to major transportation routes. I want to tell you a story. With respect to economic development initiatives, every economic development initiative has to have several partners. Number 1, you have to have the private sector who is willing to make the investment and take the risk. Number 2, you have to have elected officials who understand the importance of investing in infrastructure. And number 3, you have to have an engine that helps drive all that. And one of the best economic development stories is County Line Road. And one of the individuals that's here today is Steve Scruggs. And Steve drove that engine and still is with respect to County Line Road. So the LEDC leadership helped attract the major employers that you see on the east side of County Line Road today. And then the partners of the City of Lakeland and Polk County government invested in multi-laning County Line Road from State Road 60 to I-4. That's a great example of an economic development partnership. We have many good examples of economic development partnerships that have been led by our Tampa Hillsborough Economic Development Corporation as well, under the leadership of Rick Holmans and then Adam Myers here working with us. You can see that we're focusing on our strategic industries to enhance with respect to distribution, logistics, agribusinesses, manufacturing, for recruitment and expansion of existing businesses. We do have a very business-friendly environment, and I won't read all of those, but I am going to focus on a couple. Permitting fees waived for voluntary annexation into our city. And one of the things that I was really impressed with was the creative work that's been done by our planning and zoning team, led by Mark Hudson, Philip Searcy, and Julie Ham. We have streamlined our approval process for the I-4 Tech Corridor overlay. That will be in place in July. Approval time for residential land use reduced to 4 to 5 months from 9 to 12 months, and approval time for commercial land use reduced to 1 to 1.5 months from 9 to 12 months. So when the mayor speaks about can government be onerous in terms of how it's going to impact my business, this is a great example of how planning and zoning people came together to think outside the box to be able to make positive things happen so you can open your doors quicker. We have a consolidated development review team that we're working with right now under the leadership of our Assistant City Manager, Bill McDaniel. And our goal, I want to go back to that, sorry. Our goal is to complete project review in as little as 15 days. Now, I got some department directors out there that are probably getting ready to go code blue, but don't worry, it's going to work out. We have all the incentives that every other city and county offers. Very important. Got to have infrastructure, and everybody in this room knows it. We have 10-year drinking water capacity. Between 2015 and 2025, our capacity is at 9.8 million gallons a day, and we're looking our demand to be about 7.9. So we have plenty of opportunity to provide water. We have plenty of opportunity to protect the environment and provide wastewater capacity as well, where we have capacity of 8 million gallons a day to 2025, and we're anticipating about 6.6 in terms of million gallon per day usage. County Line Road Utility Extension, probably have seen this in the newspaper. Our City Commission agreed to invest $3.5 million to provide water and sewer along the southern segment of County Line Road where we did not have it. That project is under design, I'm pleased to say. It's on target, and we are projecting to have it in the ground February 2016. Here are the parameters of the project. Water will start right here and go south down to Medela. Then, of course, sewer will start right here. I think that is County Line Farms, and then it will come down to right here. So we're making that investment. That's an example where, in order to have a successful economic development initiative for creating jobs, you must have a public sector partner to make an investment, and we're making this investment right here. You can see, here's the great thing about this, I think. 7.3 million square footage. We have the potential of this investment building out to about 7.3 million square footage. And here are the property owners. We've met with all these property owners to make sure that if we make this investment, are you going to be stepping it up a notch as far as marketing your properties? Again, an example of a partnership working together. We've talked about the importance of local government leaders who support economic development, the 7.2 million square feet available for development of warehouse and distribution. And I think we all know this is one of the hottest corridors in Central Florida. Abundance of strategically located land with entitlements already in place, ladies and gentlemen. No hassles. No hassles. Let's bring in the business. Efficient roadway system. New development projects breaking ground in 2016, and you're going to hear more about that. We're open to business and live in a great community. And I want you to repeat after me what it says right there. We are Plant City. 3 times. We are Plant City. We are Plant City. We are Plant City. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to be here today. Thank you.
Well, I have to say that's the first time ever seeing him lead a cheer, and I thought he did a great job. Thank you, Mike. I'm sure there's more to come. Plant City has a strong history of manufacturing successes. We actually welcome manufacturing in Plant City, especially those companies that will add to be a positive influence in our community. Today, we have 3 special guests who are here to talk about their successes here in Plant City. Joining us first is Steve Maxwell. Steve is the CEO of Highland Packaging Solutions. Highland Packaging Solutions employs approximately 250 employees under 240 square feet. 240,000 square feet, their headquarters are in Plant City. Today, Highland Packaging Solutions and its family of companies are a leader in agriculture packaging and food safety systems throughout all of North America. Please join me in welcoming my Plant City High School classmate that I'm so proud of. He's done very, very well. And my friend Steve Maxwell, the CEO of Highland Packaging Solutions, to tell the story on why Plant City. Thank you, Steve.
I'd like to say the mayor got better looking since high school, but he didn't. Right? And neither did I, right, brother? It's been an honor. It's an honor to be asked to be here today. But Plant City, actually, to be totally candid with you, was a choice that we would have loved to have made. We were in a neighboring county beforehand, and we basically did not have a location in that county to move our facilities. We needed about 300,000 square feet. We wound up with a great deal with the Gordon Food Service building. They leased us the west side of their building. So we were looking to stay in Polk County, but the facilities were not there. But once we began to look in this area, we knew from day one it was a fit. And I've been blessed to be born in this area. I'm from Pinecrest, for you old timers. That's Lithia, south of Plant City. And I've known a lot of these people. Of course, the mayor and I went to school together. Mr. Sparkman I've known for years. I know the close family ties that are here. And we knew that the way Highland, our company is, we're a family-run company as well, it would be a perfect fit. So once the opportunity to remain in it's hard to move a manufacturing facility. It's tremendous cost just to move. But once that decision was made, we were very excited to come here, primarily because of the roots and the strong family environment that has always been a part of this city. And there's always a concern or a fear. You bring all this business in, all these people come in, and things change. But I believe the core values of Plant City will remain. It's still a great agricultural community. The bulk of our packaging, when we decided to manufacture back in, we just made that decision in 2005. We got our first equipment in 2008, so we're fairly new at it. The Plant City strawberry growers and great tomato growers were our core customer base. But we knew very quickly, before we invested the dollars, that we had to expand. So we can't just live off the Florida strawberry deal. We're very proud that we came here. If you look at packaging costs for our local growers, they have dropped tremendously. We estimate about $7 million a year in packaging savings alone just because of the free enterprise system and bringing packaging here. Prior to Highland coming, most of the packaging was manufactured in Chicago or in California and was brought into Florida for our growers. And by Highland showing up, we were, all of a sudden, those guys didn't have to make the margins they needed to make in those days. Isn't that funny how that works? So we're very proud of that. My grandfather was a farmer, so our whole culture at Highland is based strongly in the farming community. And but we also knew that we needed a place to expand. Today, we've been, again, blessed with tremendous growth. The majority of our products are not even sold in Florida anymore. We ship quite a bit of our products to the West Coast. About 35% of our sales now go West Coast. So freight became a huge issue for us as well. And the neat thing about being located in Florida is if you ship from the West Coast into Florida, the expense is tremendous coming in, but your backhauls are relatively inexpensive compared to inbounds. Same as north. If you're up north shipping into Florida, the cost is high. Shipping back out of Florida is relatively inexpensive, sometimes as much as a 50% reduction. So we felt we had a tremendous competitive advantage on freight, but having rail available as well was tremendous. Again, 35% of our sales today actually go to CSX by rail and ship throughout the country into other warehousing throughout the United States and Canada. So Plant City, when you look at all those things and everything you've already heard of today, it just fit the mold perfectly. It's located, it's grounded with good American traditional values. It has a great workforce that's grounded in those values, and then we have strategically a great location to be able to manufacture and then ship product throughout the country and throughout even Mexico is a big market for us as well right now. And we can do that by truck or we can do that by rail. So it's very important. I might add the city of Plant City was just a tremendous blessing on our part. I won't get into our background, but where we came from, we have a location in Florida. We have a recycling company now in Texas, just north of Dallas. So I've dealt with about 4 different municipalities. But Plant City, by far, you see Mike's enthusiasm, but by far it was the most pleasant group to deal with as far as getting set up. And I can speak honestly with you all. I would tell you if it's otherwise. Where we came from, very hostile. I was told by a city manager that he was tired of corporations taking advantage of the municipalities. That's how hostile it was. Called me to his office to make sure I got the message loud and clear. So coming here was a breath of fresh air. Knowing that they're here, they want to serve, they want to create environments where companies can come in, and then it's a self-feeding entity from that point forward. So that's our story. There's a lot more to it, but the reason we came to Plant City is again, was kind of out of a default. But once we realized this is the direction we needed to go and the only direction we had, we were very, very excited, and it's been proven over and over again. We made the right call. So back to you.
I'm so glad Steve came back home, aren't you? Thank you, buddy. Hey, if you get an opportunity, he'll be hanging around today. Please don't only listen to his personal story.
I left my Mountain Dew. Sorry.
Oh, well, that's more important. He definitely grew up in Pinecrest, didn't he? But let him tell you, it's only his personal story. I mean, they should do a book and a movie on his personal life and how he created his organization. And but he's a great leader in our community and a strong man. So thank you so much. Joining us next is Steve Bonnell. He's the HR manager for James Hardie Building Products, the Plant City operations. With him is also the plant manager, Scott Monahan. He was supposed to speak with us today, but he's a little under the weather, but he just can't force himself to leave, and we appreciate you being here, and we love James Hardie Building Products, and but can't wait to see how you passed the ball about an hour ago to Steve, but when you see his passion, you'll see how much he loves Plant City. James Hardie is a world leader in fiber cement sliding, headquartered in Ireland with manufacturing operations in the United States, Australia, New Zealand, and the Philippines. The company employs over 2,500 people who generate a revenue of more than $1.5 billion a year. Here in Plant City, James Hardie employs over 100 people and recently announced an expansion of their Plant City facility, adding 100 new employees and making an $80 million capital investment in the facility here in Plant City. Let's give a hand for and welcome Steve Bonnell, HR manager with James Hardie Building Products, to talk to you why James Hardie chooses Plant City.
Thank you. Hi, I just want to take a couple of minutes to tell you about James Hardie's relationship with Plant City, why we came here and why we continue to be here and grow. James Hardie is the largest manufacturer of fiber cement siding in the world. And we came to Plant City in 1994. Mainly, it was our second plant in the United States, and we needed a plant in the Southeast. And we came for not only the Southeast location, but ready access to I-4 and the railroad and raw materials. And since 1994, we found a lot of other reasons to stay, which really led to our expansion here currently. So we have 8 plants now in the United States, 3 in Asia Pacific. We have 150 employees currently. About half of them live in Plant City, the other half within about a 20-mile radius. Our employees are really what make us successful. Time and again, this plant in Plant City outperforms our sister plants around the country and around the world. And we attribute that to the strong workforce here in town. We find that there's a ready availability of people ready to work and ready to learn, and a very good infrastructure in place to help us with that. On the labor side, we invest quite a bit of money every year, in excess of $300,000 at this plant alone, in training and development for our employees. We have right now 3 full-time trainers in our plant, and we need technology-ready people, and it's in the most case unique to us. So we train our folks to do what they do in our plants, and we find that they've been well prepared by the schools. We're quick to benefit from the proximity of USF, HCC, even University of Tampa. We hire people from all of those places. In our most recent expansion, we're just completing a $92 million expansion here on Woodrow Wilson at our plant that will make this plant not only the newest overall, but the highest capacity manufacturing location in the world for James Hardie. It'll result ultimately in about 100 new jobs when we have all of that capacity running. And we expect that we're going to be able to find high quality people as we've done in the past. We benefited from what all the speakers mentioned earlier, a lot of help with our permitting on the construction project. We find Plant City to be a very business-friendly location. The EDC has helped us quite a bit, as has the city, the county, and it's been a very good experience for us. So James Hardie, you know, now going on 20 years in Plant City, has found that this is a great environment for manufacturing. We like to be here. The city likes to have us here. It's a great place for our employees to live and work, and it's a great place to do business and be successful. Thank you.
You know, there's nothing more exciting than when you have a new company choose our city. You know what's even more exciting? And when they choose us to expand that. That tells you they like us. They like being here. So thank you for your expansion. We appreciate it. We hope to see many, many more. Our final guest for this segment, I got to get him up here and get him out of here, because today he is hosting over 200 guests from an association meeting, and they're over at his plant across the street. When we called him a couple of weeks and asked him could he speak at today's event, it was just dead silence. And he said, "Rick, you understand I have 200 guests exactly during the middle of that presentation." So I went silent. I'm waiting for an answer. So he's here today. And Divine Bakeries is a great corporate citizen, and Roy Peterson, he's the Vice President of Sales for Divine Bakeries. Divine Bakeries is a family-owned business that since 1926 has had baking breads with quality and care. Today, Divine is one of the largest privately held specialty bakeries in the United States. Divine Bakeries produces over 100 variety of baked goods daily, and recently announced their plans to expand their Plant City facility. Another one of our partners expanding here. They chose here versus other locations. We had to compete hard. Creating 180 new jobs with a $27 million capital investment. Please welcome Roy Peterson, Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Divine Bakery, to tell his story on why Plant City. Thank you, Roy.
Good morning. And as it said, it's called Divine Bakery, and we're probably one of those best success stories that you've heard. The family purchased the bakery here in 2006 to be able to produce hamburger and hot dog buns for Bimbo Bakeries. And they originally were going to gut it and put the bun line in. Well, I've been in Plant City now for 20 years as in the cookie side. So my experience goes back to Nabisco, Murray, Famous Amos, Keebler, Kellogg's. Hooked up with the family. The father saw 3 cookie lines running all at one time and said, "I'm getting in the cookie business." We accidentally met, started the cookie business, and at the same time we started building a bakery to make hamburger and hot dog buns. So we started the cookie business from scratch. 10 employees, no formula, no packaging, no nothing. To today, we're 300 employees, 3 cookie lines running 1,800 cookies a minute, hamburger and hot dog line making 1,000 buns a minute, and we have since expanded from 72,000 to 200,000, 3 cookie lines, hamburger and hot dog line, a gluten-free wrap line, gluten-free chip line. So we're one of those stories that continues to grow. Now we're doing another expansion that we're going to add a whole new bakery, and it's called the Field of Dreams because we're going to build the bakery and then we're going to add the line. So we're not sure what we're going to do, but we're going to add new products and new jobs of 180. And the reason about Plant City is so neat, 10% of our business is export in the cookie business. So we ship all the way from Costa Rica, Panama, South America, Colombia, Brazil, to all the Caribbean. We ship West Coast, as Steve said. Our West Coast business is all rail. So we're able to compete with the West Coast suppliers because we can go rail, gets there in 10 days at a very competitive price. Export, we're able to load containers at the bakery, going out of Port of Tampa. We go out of Miami, we go out of Jacksonville. So it's very convenient for us being on I-4 with 75, with 95 to be able to compete. And as also was said earlier, the neat thing about us is the freight going out is very competitive compared to the freight coming in because there's so many trucks coming into Winn-Dixie and Publix and Walmart warehouses that they're leaving the state empty. So we're able to pick up these trailers at a much cheaper rate to get to where our products need to go. So we've been very successful there. And last is the employees that we're able to maintain. In 9 years of business, our first shift is 80% 9-year veterans. So we're able to hold on to employees, and we're able to fill all our people on every line, concerning 5 lines and 300 people, temporary and full-time, and we have no shortage of workers that want to be a part of our business. So it's been a phenomenal 9 years, and we're very excited about the support we get not only from the city of Plant City, but also our recent work on our new plant expansion, where we're going to add a new bakery in the support of Hillsborough County. So we've been very fortunate, very blessed to be right here in Plant City, and just some phenomenal people that are here. So we appreciate everybody being here and supporting our group. Thank you.
I'm Bill Stevens, Plant Superintendent for Gerdau, Tampa Reinforcing Steel in Plant City, Florida. Gerdau is the largest producer of long steel in the Americas. This facility has been in operation for over 26 years. The Plant City facility, we have 33 full-time employees. I have a great workforce. The average tenure on the floor out there is 21 years. So I have a lot of experience, a lot of dedication, a lot of loyalty. We fabricate rebar at Tampa Reinforcing. Our specialty is big commercial projects. We're currently working on several projects in Miami. We have projects in Orlando, projects in Tampa. Highway access is very important to us. We're fortunate enough to be located in Plant City, so we have access to I-4, we have access to 75. We're centrally located, so we can get across Florida as we need to. We also have rail access to the facility to bring steel in. Here on a daily basis and come and go to work, we want to lead the industry in what we do. And Plant City is crucial to that strategy.
Plant City, right now.
I think they said it best, but Gerdau is an international company, another international company that's strategically located in Plant City because of our location and found the added bonus of our strong labor force and just the right mix for their success. They've been very, very successful. We know that in eastern Hillsborough County, we have a strong agricultural presence. That agricultural presence ties into many of our manufacturing successes here in Plant City. We have 3 special guests with us here today to help explain the importance of the agriculture industry in Plant City and how it plays a major role in the larger economic picture. To help moderate this panel discussion, please join me in welcoming our former City Commissioner and Mayor of Plant City, Mayor John Dix, that I had the pleasure and I learned a lot from as his Vice Mayor for several years, and to the stage. What most people don't realize, John's also a blueberry farmer himself, and he loves to wear cowboy boots. He will explain how the agriculture industry is an economic driver for Plant City and introduce our panelists. Please welcome Mayor John Dix.
Good morning. I want to tell you, I'm impressed. I have to have a copy of the script, and it tells you minute by minute where we are. And Mayor Lott has kept us on script right down to the minute. So I'm impressed with that. I'm also pleased to tell you that the script says you have only 3 more hours of sitting before you get to stand. I'm kidding. I would like to get our panel up here, though. Gary and Kenneth and Ryan, come on up here and join me. We're doing this in a little bit of a form of a panel in the case that you might like to ask a question about what's going on with our agricultural industry. because I know that we have many people who are coming from all phases of business here, both looking to develop and to help us grow our community. We also have many from the legal community, and sometimes people aren't as familiar with what's going on in the agricultural community. But I will tell you that Plant City, in addition to having great leadership on our city commission who is focused on the future and providing an environment that business can grow and thrive, we're also very, very proud of our historical heritage in agriculture. And ag is here to stay, but as these three gentlemen will be pointing out, agriculture is designed to be a complement to the growth of Plant City and as we move forward in the future. Up here, kind of moving that way, first of all, is Gary Wishnasky. Gary is the owner of Wish Farms, which many of you perhaps have been able to buy some of the products under that name, Wish Farms in Publix, Walmart, and some of the other places. It's a third generation family business, been around for years and years, as he will explain. Ryan Keel, who is the general manager for Keel and Curley, the Blueberry Farm, but also the winery, and here lately also the craft brewery, where they're making craft beer under the Two Henrys name. We're glad to have you here with us. And the last gentleman down there wearing the hat, so we can identify him, my friend Kenneth Parker. He is a Plant Cityan by birth of many generations. He is a farmer, but he is also the executive director of the Strawberry Growers Association. He's going to kind of give us a little fill-in about that. So let me start off with Gary. And again, we're going to kind of leave this open for a few questions if you have some about the ag industry as we move through this. Gary Wishnasky, as I mentioned to you, 3 generations of running this business. I was paying attention, by the way. I was impressed. Gordon Gillette, if you're still here, 1922 is when you started with Tico in Plant City. That's also the year Wishnasky got here in 1922. So they turned on the switch and you guys got started.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Our business actually started in New York City in 1922, but it wasn't until 1929 that my grandfather first came to Plant City for the first time. There were literally thousands of small strawberry growers at that time, and the size of the families back then were dictated, the size of the farms were dictated by the size of the families because all the kids were the pickers. This area, Plant City, has the moniker as the winter strawberry capital of the world, but it wasn't always that way. It could have very easily been the winter cotton capital of the world, because back in 1884, that was the year that the railroad came to town, when Henry B. Plant came in, because this was once known as Ickapucksassa. It was an Indian village, and that's what this community was called here. But in 1884, Henry B. Plant brought the railroad here, and when he did, people started growing strawberries to ship north, because before that, people just grew cotton here, and that was the main cash crop back then. And so in 1884, when the railroad came in, there was a means for transportation to northern markets. So the railroad is actually part of this history, and that's why the strawberry industry grew up here.
Thank you. And Ryan, now your business has really gotten going. Perhaps you've seen the billboards as you come this way. Not only is Keel and Curley one of the biggest blueberry producers in the area, and as I mentioned, also producing some wine and some craft beer, but just a couple of weeks ago, you were host again for several years to the Blueberry Festival, and you have several thousand people showing up, which is great for tourism and bringing more people to our community and educating them about what's going on in the Plant City community. Tell us how you guys got started, what your plans are, future growth, development, etc.
Yeah, no problem. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. Just give you a brief history lesson on where we came from. I was born and raised in South Tampa, actually. We moved to Plant City in 1982, where my dad started a plant nursery. That's kind of how we all got started. Thanks to the hurricane in 1992, Hurricane Andrew really opened the door for the wholesale plant business in Plant City. So that's how we found ourselves in this community. There was plenty of land available in Plant City, which was not available in South Tampa, obviously, to grow plants. But after about 5-6 years in the nursery business, everybody else got in the nursery business. So
In '97, we planted our first acre of blueberries. And really, that was the decision that brought us to where we are today. Because we eventually had now 35 acres of blueberries. We have 15 acres of Florida peaches and also about 2 acres of hybrid blackberries. So on the farming end of things, in 2003, we actually created the winery because we had a packing house where we packed for 10 other blueberry farms, had an abundance of extra blueberries. My dad decided to make wine out of it, and the rest is sort of history. Continue to grow the winery to a point where we do about 25,000 cases of wine a year, distributed mostly in Florida, but also in Georgia and Illinois. We also started up the brewery in 2013 in tribute to Plant City. My younger brother came up with the name. I can't take credit for that, but it was a brilliant name. We wanted to basically attribute to the Florida history. Henry Plant, as Mr. Wisniewski said, was vital to the development of Plant City, so we had to, of course, attribute it to him. Henry Flagler was the other Henry who developed the East Coast. He is very dear to my dad's heart as he has a house in the Keys, and he developed the Florida Keys pretty much. So that's how the brewery developed. We're now doing about 50,000 gallons of beer a year now out of our brewery. And, some of the plants, I think our story is basically one of diversification. We started obviously as a plant nursery, but as times have changed, we've diversified. But the one thing that does remain the same is we continue to use the agricultural crops in everything we do, from the Blueberry Festival to the beer to the wine. Any of you that have been to our place or had our products, they're all ag product centric. So that we continue to focus tremendously on agritourism by our UPIC business and everything else. We're trying to bring as many people through Plant City as possible.
Real quick, the Blueberry Festival is really taking off. How many people did you guys estimate this year versus last year?
The last few years, this is our 8th annual one this year. Last couple of years, we've averaged 12 to 15,000 people in the 3-day festival. This year, we were a little down. We figured about 10 to 12,000 people, but Sun and Fun was going on the same weekend, which we feel like probably drew some people away. But it was definitely a very good crowd, good manageable crowd, and I think everybody had a very good time this year.
And it's a 35-acre blueberry farm, which let me just point out, in the scheme of things, you hear of strawberry farms today that are 40, 50, 100, 500 acres. A 35-acre blueberry farm is really a very big development. It's very, very labor intensive. And I point out that because in a few minutes I want to come back to Gary, who some of you may have been hearing about working diligently on a strawberry picking machine. I want to hear a little bit about that when we come back to it in just a second. But no such luck yet on the blueberries, but we're working on it. Kenneth Parker down here. Now, Kenneth, as I mentioned to you, he is a lifetime, part of a lifetime family that's been in Plant City for several generations. He's a farmer himself, but a few months ago, or a few years ago, I guess it is now, you became the executive director of the Strawberry Growers Association. Kind of fill in everybody about what's happening with the strawberry industry, what it looks like in the future, how we're growing, etc.
Thank you, John. And yes, it was just less than a year ago when the Strawberry Growers hired me to be their executive director, and I really appreciate that. And, Plant City has been synonymous with strawberries for 100 years or more. But the strawberry and agriculture, but the strawberry in particular, is such an economic driver for this community and this region that the farm gate value for strawberries varies from $350 to $400 million annually. That's a big number in itself. However, the total economic impact of that number would be about $1 billion for this community. And it's interesting that strawberries are so concentrated. Within 20 miles of Plant City, you have 90% of the winter strawberry production in America. So it's a big deal for Plant City. And we know that in a time of increasing population, there are some commodities that can not only survive but actually thrive. It's interesting, you may remember this, John, back in the 1980s, there was a push or a study done by Hillsborough County called Horizon 2000. Well, that plan excluded strawberries as being in existence by the year 2000. Well, I'm proud to say that the $50 million industry that existed in the 80s is now a $400 million industry and has thrived and survived along with the population explosion. There's some positive things about non-ag growth or development in that along with increasing land values, we're able to borrow money for high-value crops such as strawberries. So it really works hand in hand.
That's terrific. And again, I want to emphasize that Plant City is very unique in the sense that we have a thriving ag community. Though strawberries are still around, as you mentioned, well past the year 2000, and will still remain to be so. That's when we look at it. And I say that as really as a plus for anyone who's ever considering relocating or locating businesses in the area, because we're an area that is really, really very balanced. It's not just one-sided. It's not just in one industry or the other. And it's when you look at an overall economy and the growth of the economy and the health of the economy, you want a very, very balanced community from which to draw upon. You know, in our ag industry, for example, some people are often surprised to hear that we have farming that is done within the city limits of Plant City. We're proud of that history. And again, we see that as continuing on. Now, that's not to say that those farms will always be remaining there and they may move out and expand, etc. But we're very, very proud of that background and historical nature. Let me, at this point, though, kind of open the floor. If you ever have any idea or question, want to find out what's going on with the ag industry and how that might intertwine with what your thoughts or prospects are with the community, now's a great time to do so. Any questions or comments from the group, from any of the guys that are up here?
Yeah, we're working on a way to pick strawberries with a robot. And it's been pretty well documented that the workforce in agriculture has been shrinking over the last 10 years. And it's been a little bit of a challenge. There's been a couple years here in recent history where we had to abandon fields as early as January because we couldn't get them all picked. So that's one option when you don't have enough pickers. The other is to go to a H-2A guest worker program, which has proven to be very expensive and hard to manage. And the other thing is you can just get in a bidding war with your neighbor and just bid up the price of the labor. But so the workforce has been shrinking. It's well documented. The thing with strawberries is a lot of people don't understand. You have to pick the field, every 3 days, and you have to pick it on time. So it's it's very critical to not let it go too long, otherwise berries will become overripe. It's about 40 times throughout the course of the season we'll cover the same acreage. So you have to just select just the ripe berries. So it's difficult to develop a machine that's going to be very selective and gentle on the plants and be able to do it. But we're working on it, and we're well on our way to accomplishing it. The thing with the workers, the workforce has been shrinking. Most of our workers are of Mexican descent, and there's been a trend in Mexico where the fertility rate is down considerably. From 1960, it was at 7, now it's at 2. So 20 years ago, it was at 3. So that's where I think part of this trend is. Part of it, there's more opportunities in Mexico for workers to get jobs. So there's not as many people coming here that want to pick. The people that are here, they're mostly first and second generation immigrants. And the thing that a lot of people miss when they hear the word migrant worker, the word migrant, is they have to migrate. Every few months they have to pick up their family and move somewhere else. I don't know about you, but I don't think I would like that lifestyle. It's hard work, and that's where I think this robotic picker comes in. It will be very dependable, and it's going to revolutionize the industry. But that's also something that, this is a big opportunity for us and for probably Plant City too, because that industry is going to grow, the whole robotic industry. And I hope for our company, Harvest Crew Robotics, to be a leader in that and be based right here in Plant City and provide more high-tech, better-paying jobs and continue to help the Plant City economy.
That's exciting. And if I read it right, you're hoping to do that by next year, right? 2016?
Yeah, the end of next year, we expect to have our alpha unit, the very first pre-production model in the field. We're going to be doing some extensive testing this year, some in California, here in Florida, with some different picking head designs and different claw designs, and we're very excited. We really believe that we have some real novel concepts of how to commercialize this picker.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Florida, we just got back from a craft beer conference about 3 weeks ago in Portland, Oregon, which is the mecca of craft beer in the U.S., really, Colorado and Oregon and California. Basically, what we learned in that conference was craft beer has a national percentage of about 11-12%. Their goal is to have it to 20% by 2020, so it's 20 by 2020. And for that to happen, most of the growth you're going to see is going to come out of the Southeast United States. Florida has just been on a boom on craft beer. All the Southeast really has. So, you know, I think, yeah, to your point, craft beer, we started making beer, like I said, about 1.5 years ago. We've expanded 3 times already in the same building we're in. We have not built a new building, but we do have plans for another 5,000 square foot brewery to hopefully go in within the next 1.5 years. To be able to accommodate the demand. But we've been selling all the beer we can make for about the last 6 months. And I think from other breweries I've talked to, that's the same issue with them. You know, we had the brew hub open up in Lakeland not too long ago. It's been a very successful venture close to us. So yeah, the craft beer business really in the whole Southeast United States, mainly for Central Florida especially, is really, really up and coming.
Breweries, craft breweries, you guys are the first one in East Hillsborough County. And while you're technically not in the city, you consider yourself Plant Cityans. And I just want to ask you to elaborate without going into specifics, names and details, etc. But I know that when you guys were doing this, you had some regulatory difficulty. And I think you would agree that the folks, the leadership in Plant City really kind of stepped up. And
Absolutely. The leadership in Plant City, the leadership of the state of Florida really, really backed us. We had a unanimous vote from the county commission for our new zoning. So, you know, we really, really saw the government come to our aid and help us get done what needed to be done. So we were, you know, very, 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 very happy with that. You know, I personally, as a Plant City resident since the mid '80s, I can't speak highly enough about the community itself, for all aspects of Plant City. I personally wouldn't recommend anybody start a business anywhere else but Plant City, personally, or the surrounding area of this area. Just a couple of points that we find really, really useful from Plant City, both from an ag perspective and a manufacturing perspective, because we're in both. The location, as they were talking about earlier, is huge for us. Publix is our biggest partner in the wine. They're about 9 miles from us. We jump on the interstate and we're over on County Line Road where we drop our product off. You know, we also distribute our beer to Tampa and Orlando, so both distributors are able to come to our facility, pick up the product, and it's super efficient for us. So we probably wouldn't pick another area besides Plant City.
we see our community growing. You've heard so many things already about the geographic location and the opportunities that are there. We have the infrastructure, we have the complementary services and opportunities, and we wanted you to see that ag is going to continue to be a presence, but it's going to be a very good complementary presence. And the nice thing is, knowing that they're as strong as they are, you'll always have something to eat while in Plant City. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
You know, another big factor in our community, I know you saw in the video up front, is the Strawberry Festival. You know, it brings over 500,000 people to our community. And just real quickly, I want to acknowledge a gentleman that works day in and day out to make that festival the best in the country. He's our general manager, Mr. Paul Davis. Paul, please stand. And he's wearing red. Always wearing red. We love you, Paul. To conclude our program, we are excited to discuss with you some new developments on the horizon. We love new developments. This is an exciting time in Plant City, and I believe when you see what's on the horizon, you'll be just as excited as we are. And understand that Plant City is poised for big, big things in the future. Joining us first is Bob Sebastio. He's a general manager with Walton Development Group, here today to discuss the Varea development in our Northeast Master Plan. Bob, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. First, I'd like to thank the city, the chamber, and the EDC for the opportunity to have the invitation to introduce you to Walton in the beginning of our Varea project. My name is Bob Sebastio. I'm the Florida General Manager for Walton Development and Management. Walton is a 30-year-old company based in Calgary, Canada, and currently has about Walton has about 100,000 acres in North America, with the majority of that in the United States. Again, it's a 30-year-old private family-owned business, which has been acquiring property for the primarily the last 20 years. In the state of Florida, it started looking at the state about 3 years ago. A good friend of mine who's in the audience today introduced me to Walton just about 3 years ago. And 2 years ago, I joined the Walton companies as their general manager in Florida to help establish the Florida presence. Since the last 2 years, Walton has acquired roughly 6,000 acres, of which 1,000 acres is in the city of Plant City. So over the last 2 years since coming into the state of Florida, we've focused primarily on the I-4 corridor. You've heard earlier today all of the great things that are happening along the I-4 corridor between Tampa and Orlando. We certainly were aware of that, like the potential growth, and started looking along that corridor for opportunities to create master plan communities. Just over a year ago, the Cone Ranch was introduced to us by another very good friend who's in the audience today for our review and consideration of acquiring it. We looked at the market, the area, the community, the reception we received from the city, and decided that this would be a good location for that growth that you've heard all of the existing companies expanding, companies looking to expand here. So we felt that there was going to be a need for a master plan community that provides all of the existing residents of Plant City and the surrounding area, as well as the future residents coming in with the future companies, a destination, a location for quality residential and retail and other community services. Just over a year ago, we acquired the property. We began our visioning. One thing that Walton does do is takes their time in the vision portion of the project, and we literally walk the site with our consultants and go through the property, identify all the natural beauties, the creeks, the wetlands, and we come up with a design. We don't rush it. We're still actually in that process now. We do have more information than we had a year ago, but again, it's the same entitlements that were in place when we acquired the property, roughly 2,600 residential units, along with some retail, ancillary retail, community neighborhood retail, and some other amenities and benefits that go along with that master plan community. As you can see here, these are some of the things we take into account when we're going through and doing the original design of the project. We are close to the end of that conceptual plan. The plan itself does include a charrette where we invite all the stakeholders, the cities, the community. We've done community meetings to get the input, and eventually we'll be coming out later this year with the plan in its total, and then hopefully the market dictates the next step, next stage of the project. But one thing we'd like to do is make sure that these projects are well designed, well thought out, so that when the market is ready, as it certainly seems to be growing and is on the near horizon, then we'll have a quality neighborhood community for people to live. These are just some of the pictures of the things that we incorporate, the concepts we incorporate into that plan. It gives people the vision of what we anticipate to be there. Thank you very much.
Bill Damaski, I'm site manager here at International Paper Plant City location. International Paper is a worldwide company, has over 60,000 employees. We run about 500 million square feet of pizza boxes through the course of the year. We also service ag industry, which deals with strawberry boxes and other vegetables, which also makes industrial boxes, and our water segment. 4 different segments of our industry out of Plant City. We currently have 65 employees on the factory floor with another 15 salaried employees in the management ranks. We've been open for 17 years here in this location. Some of the very first employees still work here. We have been very fortunate to be able to fill all of our needs from a talented standpoint in Plant City. Rail is absolutely vital to what we do here in Plant City. We are able to get paper from all of our mills in the southeast region. On a weekly basis, we have 95 trailers leave our facility. Being in Plant City, we are centrally located. I-4 is a major corridor for us. It makes it very easy for us to make deliveries to our customers. We go as far south as Miami. We go into southern Georgia and along the eastern seaboard. Well, I believe we are capable of growing here in Plant City, meeting all of our needs as far as expansion that we would look to do in the future.
Plant City, right now.
Obviously, International Paper is a great partner to our community, and we appreciate everything they do for us. I want to thank Bob Sebastio for coming and participating today and making that announcement. It's pretty exciting, isn't it? We haven't had a major development in our community since Walton Lake, and we know the impact Walton Lake had in our community, and we're very excited about the impact of REA will have in our community in the future. Something I just want to expand on is that if you look at Fish Hawk over in our neighboring Brandon, Valrico area, I'm not saying they're building Fish Hawk in Northeast Plant City, but they're using Fish Hawk as a base code and as an example of that product that would be in the Northeast Master Plan. So we're very, very excited about that product. So Bob, thank you very much. Joining us next, we have Todd Taylor. He's representing another exciting new development on the horizon in Plant City, and we can't wait to see it coming out of the ground. Please welcome Todd Taylor from North Park Isles Development. Todd, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for the time. Appreciate the city having us here. North Park Isles, as you can see, is a 400-acre project approved for 947 residential units. There's 3 owners of us, and we've been involved with this project for a dozen years right now. The timing's right for Plant City. We're very excited to get it going through the efforts of our new city manager, Mike Herr, and the mayor, the commission, city attorney Ken Buckman, his staff, city manager staff of Mark Hudson and Phil Scarce. They've helped us get it to the project to the position right now where we're ready to get in the ground. Hopefully by first quarter 2016, we'll be moving dirt. We're in negotiations right now with a national developer, and I'd like to show you, if I can work this thing. If you see the little green line coming south, that's Park Road. The great vision that Plant City had is that north of the I-4 or the Park Road I-4 intersection, Park Road is now 4-lane directly into our site, and Sam Allen, which goes horizontal from 39 over to our project, is in the process of being engineered. It's about 90% engineered through FDOT, and that will be 4-lane running sewer and water through that project. This project is approximately 1/2 mile off of I-4. The location, as you know in real estate, is location, location, location. This, if you were developing a new community, is at First and Main. It's the linchpin for development in North Plant City. As I mentioned, there's 3 owners. We have over 100 years of building and development expertise. You'd think we have a great deal of experience, but all our friends tell us is that we're just getting older. What I'd like to tell you is that the number of builders that we have interested, just as Walton Development probably has a number of builders, is off the charts. Almost every major developer in the Bay Area wants to be here. Plant City is the new growth area. We're all aware of that with its strategic location on I-4. The great foresight, again, as I mentioned, with the road network that they have here is unprecedented. I'm going to go through a couple of slides here. This is our initial layout showing quite a variation of different type of products, from the club product to multifamily, to some single family, to some, the dark blue, of course, is lakes that we're going to be building within the community, and we're very, very much attuned to keeping a lot of green space. As far as location, on the left are some of the projects. It shows North Park Isles. From downtown Tampa, it's 24.8 miles. It takes 28 minutes to get there. So these other successful projects, Fishhawk, New Tampa, Concord Station, and South County, are all the same distance, if not a little bit more, and the timing takes longer to get there from those projects to downtown Tampa. So people that think that they can't live in Plant City and work in downtown Tampa are definitely wrong. This is a great location, and for all the economic projects that are coming online and being touted to move into Plant City, this will be an awesome place for those people to live and work. This is a project that is developed by the developer that we're speaking with right now, Terra Lago. This is just kind of a little bit of a presentation to show you the type of product that they build. It's going to be a very quality, high-end project. I say high-end, middle to high-end. Again, this is just a streetscape of the entryway that would happen. These are the type of houses that we envision being built in the project. This is a streetscape that we will, we're very attuned to trees, keeping trees, adding trees, keeping green space. This would be the community development project for the rec center. As you can see, pool area, cabanas, play area for kids, fitness center, slides, all first class, well done, something I think that everybody would be proud to live in and enjoy. And again, I'd like to thank everyone. Again, the staff that's helped us, they've been incredibly easy to work with and receptive to growth. Thank you very much.
How exciting. It's a beautiful project, isn't it? Todd, we thank you very, very much, and we're looking very forward to this project coming out of the ground. Thank you for your faith in Plant City. Another very, very exciting development in Plant City with over 1,400 available acres, a project that we're very excited about and a lot of people put a lot of work into, and the time is now and we're ready now. Please join in welcoming Bob Appleyard with Transcend Development to talk about the Lakeside Station Logistics Park. Bob, thank you.
We have owned Lakeside Station for a long time. We raised a lot of cattle. We're about to make those cattle a little bit uncomfortable. We've known for years that you don't start a project of the magnitude of Lakeside Station into a market that isn't ready to receive it. Plant City is right. Plant City is now. Lakeside Station is right. Lakeside Station is now. Let's see if I can master the, sure. Lakeside Station Logistics Park is ready to go today because, once again, prime industrial real estate in the I-4 corridor is in high demand. We have prime industrial real estate in the I-4 corridor. The second reason that it's time for Lakeside Station, Plant City, to move forward together today is that today we have government, civic, and business leaders in Plant City, evidenced by what's happening today, who are ready to do the serious heavy lifting, again, evidenced by what they did in the County Line Road corridor, to make economic development happen. They understand it takes a joint effort between the city, civic leaders, business leaders, and those who are willing to invest. We're ready to invest. It's been a while and we're ready to invest. If you haven't seen Lakeside Station, we want you to see it. We're going to show you a little bit of it, and we hope that you'll come and see it. in a much more up close and personal way. At the intersection of Highway 92 and Park Road, we have 1,400 acres. That represents just about 10% of the land area of the city of Plant City. Let's take a look at it. The property is largely undeveloped, untouched. Some of it is pasture, some of it is previously mined. It's characterized by large stands of stately oaks, water views that we've talked about. Corporate relocation. Is Plant City ready for a corporate relocation? I say that Plant City is ready for a lakeside corporate campus. Of that 1,400 acres, 950 acres is uplands, ready to be developed. Entitlements, we don't have $700 million square feet in potential industrial square footage. Our DRI permits a total of nearly 10 million. We have hundreds of thousands of square feet of office and retail. Obviously, that's not all going to happen today, where we are a development on the horizon. But in addition to that, we're a development that's here now. With a flexible CU zoning plan, we can meet exactly what the market wants today. And we've done that with the first phase that's in planning and development right now that comprises 200 acres. It's utility served, and it's going to offer sites for 200,000 up to 400,000, and indeed up to that 1 million square foot logistics center that we want to be in the hunt for the next time one comes looking in our area. If you're looking for an opportunity to build 100,000, 300,000 square foot building to build, lease, and hold, we can make that available to you in the first phase. And as I said, we're hoping to make that 1 million square foot site available also in that first phase. And we're underway. We're not holding back. We're investing today. In the future, and this is the part that's on the horizon, we see a lot of opportunity for warehouse and distribution, obviously. We see opportunity for light manufacturing. But as Plant City matures and develops as an economic development market over the next several years, we have a vision for this property that includes more. We have the ability in terms of land and diversity. We have flexibility of ownership that allows us to be nimble and meet opportunities as they come, that allows us to consider things with a little bit more civic impact. If you think, for example, that what Plant City needs more than anything else, we've got a lot of civic leaders here, is another excellent institution of higher learning, we can accommodate this here. We've got the land, we've got the entitlements, we've got the diversity. If you think that what Plant City needs is a large agricultural research facility or a continuing care retirement community, we've got the space for that. Healthcare facilities, an energy park. Literally, in this project, the prospects, the possibilities are endless. And we've got the patience, the time, the resources, the commitment, the hope to try to make some of those things happen. We have with us today, if you're interested in seeing it, an economic impact study that was done by the University of South Florida that indicates that at build-out, with direct, indirect, and induced effects, this project at build-out could produce 18,000 jobs and $2.3 billion in annual economic impact. What will this project that's on the horizon hold in the future? I don't think that with the size of the project, with the potential of this city in the coming years, any of us can imagine. We know it's going to be big. We know it's going to hold surprises. We know that there's an opportunity for you there now and in the future. Come see us.
Thank you, Bob. And Allie, thank you. I see you in the audience here as well. We appreciate you being here today. When you hear numbers like 2.3 billion, when you hear 18,000 jobs, that's called quality of life, isn't it? That starts changing people's lives. It takes our youth, it takes the young men and women that graduate from our school system here and make them want to stay here because they have a good quality of life and they have a good paying job, and it starts with that. So we're very, very excited, and we're thrilled to see that project become a real project in our city, and we're here to work with and support you. And thanks again for believing in Plant City. I better get my glasses on here because I cannot see. I'll be messing up, and I promised I'd stick to the script. We're excited about all these new projects, and we have another thrilling project in our community. Joining us now, we have Jeff Lucas with Central Florida Development, who is currently in the process of constructing a new 100,000 square foot speculative building right here in Plant City on County Line Road. Jeff, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to the city and Chamber of Commerce and the EDC for putting on such a wonderful event today. Just to tell you all a little bit about Central Florida Development. We own 300 acres of land, all within 5 miles where we sit right now. all of it's in Plant City and Lakeland. And so we're big believers in I-4 and the I-4 corridor in this area, and the partnerships we've been able to create out here with the city of Plant City. Steve and his team at the Lakeland EDC has really helped lead to our success. And as I mentioned, we own 300 acres of land. We built the 2 buildings on the northeast side of I-4 and County Line Road where Welding is. And we're building the 75,000 square foot office building in front of that as well. And we own, of our 300 acres, 100 of it is in Plant City. And as the mayor mentioned, we're building a spec building, which is the first spec building. I believe it's been built in 20, 25 years in Plant City. And it's interesting, I was talking to a broker here a minute ago. In the entire Bay Area and all of Central Florida, really outside of Orlando, there are only 3 speculative office or industrial buildings under construction. And one of those is in Plant City and 2 of those are in Lakeland. They're all right here along the I-4 corridor, which I think speaks volumes to this area as a place to do business. And frankly, folks like us, Wesley Beck's here, he's building one of those spec buildings as well, to invest our money here. And this is our first building in Plant City. We've got 100,000 square feet that's under construction. Bob Appleyard talked about making his cows uncomfortable. In January, we had cows on this property, and suffice to say, they got very, very uncomfortable. The building will be done in July, and we're happy to say that our first customer will be moving in there and operating in July as well. We've done a lease for 15,000 square feet in that building. For all you brokers and all you business owners out there, we do have 85,000 square feet available. Call me or our broker, David Buckner, who's here, if you have any interest in that. As soon as this building's done, or mostly done, we're going to begin construction on the next 100,000 square foot building. And then you can see we've got other buildings planned there, as well as restaurant and retail sites up along County Line Road. And that's one of the buildings we're going to build is going to be a 40,000 square foot, more of a flex building that could be office or warehouse. That's a rendering of what that building would look like. The next business park we're going to develop is the 72 acres that we own at County Line Road and Rice Road. We're currently marketing this for build-to-suit projects where we can do up to 1.5 million square feet in a single building. But that's a plan that is something like the plan that we'll pursue. We're going to do our core business is smaller multi-tenant buildings, which is probably what will be developed there. But we're beginning the preliminary work on that. We just bought 10 more acres to allow us to build a little more on that site, and we're really excited to be developing that. This is another shot, an aerial of that with Amazon and County Line Road in the background of what that site will look like. And again, a rendering of the building and what it'll look like. So we're happy to be here, and I just want to take a second. I mean, we've had a lot of landowners talk, a lot of business owners talk. I can tell you as somebody who, in January, we had cows on our property at County Line Road and Highway 92. In July, we're going to have a building there. And I've heard Mike Herr talk about collaboration and partnerships, Mayor Lott as well. These guys mean it. I can't say enough about our experiences working with the city of Plant City. Mike and Philip and everybody on the team there has been very responsive in turning around our permits, working with us to frankly make this development successful and bring more jobs and capital investment into the area. And as somebody who's spent some time in economic development in my past life, it's very refreshing to see the city of Lakeland, Steve and Claudia, Mike and Mayor Lott all working together to bring jobs to this area. And as I think Steve mentioned it, Mayor Lott is involved in the Lakeland EDC. You know, they allowed us to feature our Plant City spec building at their last meeting. It's great to see you guys here today. And Mike, thank you for everything you and your team do to bring jobs to this area. And, you know, the partnership you created with TICO, the Tampa Hillsborough EDC, I mean, we couldn't be successful without those folks involved as well. So Plant City's open for business, we're open for business, and we're looking forward to great things happening out here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. We know that you know this market very, very well, especially your involvement in EDC, with the Tampa Hillsborough EDC. And it speaks volumes that you're betting on the future right now with speculative buildings. We appreciate your confidence in us, and we look forward to being a great partner with you. Lastly, we want to welcome Mike Herr back to the stage, our city manager. Today, he's going to discuss the city's Midtown Development Project and the potential that development brings to Plant City, something I know we all know about and something we all are very excited about. Mike, thank you.
Let me give you a brief introductory, some brief introductory comments about Midtown. The Midtown, first of all, is located in our business, our downtown business district. It's just south of the historic downtown business district. It consists of 15 acres that are ready for economic redevelopment opportunities. It's part of a larger 85-acre CRA in the city. And what we're going to present to you today is some visual concepts of what we think Midtown can look like in the future. And I'm really pleased to say that in recent weeks, we've had the opportunity to review a marketing study that we had done by GAI Consultants, because we didn't want to get out here with a vision and start negotiating with prospective developers and support a vision that the economy couldn't bear. And so I'm pleased to say that the marketing study that we had done will support a vision that our CRA board and our citizens have come up with for the future. Well, this is Midtown Park. We call it, I should say, Village Green, which has been opened in February of 2015. Right here, this is kind of a transition slide that shows you Midtown historically is part of the kind of an older part of the city where we had some, more industrial type sites. And we have cleaned up many of those sites using brownfield dollars. And then, of course, our Village Green Park, which I mentioned that we opened in February. And then, of course, we transitioned to this type of development, retail. We say it's ready for development because we've accomplished these things so far. I think this is real important. The conceptual stormwater permit is completed. Those of you that are in the redevelopment business or development business, it's going to save you a lot of time with respect to permitting with SwiftMud. City CRA board has been very instrumental in acquiring and remediating key properties. So the 15 acres that are ready for development, that you have that opportunity. We, of course, have developed a master plan. We have passed Midtown District Ordinance for appropriate new zoning, made an infrastructure improvement for realigning Wheeler Street, and we recently completed, as I mentioned, the Village Green Park. Why Midtown? Well, because Midtown has some unique opportunities. We're very proud of the many assets that we have in our downtown business district today. Of course, our historic housing district. You can see the facade improvements in our downtown district right here with Crazy Cup, and then of course our Railroad Museum. This is really an excellent site right here, and then our viewing station, which was built without taxpayer dollars. It was raised through donations and spearheaded by Commissioner Sparkman and others. And this is a McCall Park. So we have a lot of amenities to support Midtown. This will show you the connectivity to our communities in our city. Well, here's Midtown. And then, of course, it's surrounded by the historic business district and the housing district. Walton Lake, one of our premier communities. And then, of course, Vera. You can move into Vera and then come down to Midtown in the evening for some entertainment and stroll around in a very nice village. Here's our connectivity with respect to downtown. As I mentioned, the historic neighborhood. Midtown Village Green, well, we talked about the park is completed. Supermarket renovation and cafe street market. Here's a concept that we think will work. And we've just named this Midtown Supermarket. This is, the vision here is mixed use, to be an open walking village for residents to live, work, and enjoy. Here is a concept of a cafe street market, which you can see is kind of an open farmer's market, which we think really is going to be integrated quite well in the Plant City community. A commercial office and retail corridor. Here's an example of what this vision can look like. Mixed commercial retail right here. Flats, townhomes. Here's the residential component, which we think can be supported, and that's pretty extensive. There's some very extensive comments in the marketing study about these opportunities. Retail sidewalk cafes with residential above. We think that this will mix very well with our architecture and design considerations in our city. Residential above retail. I think I got ahead of myself there. So you can see the residential above and retail below. Live and work. Right here. And that's our vision for Midtown. It's my pleasure to present it to you. We hope to hear from you. We'll have a request for proposal out in the very near future. Our next step is to present the marketing study to the CRA board, as Ken Buckman would remind me to say, in the very near future. We have just a few more details to work out with respect to the request for proposal, and then we'll have it on our website. Our purchasing manager will get it out into the marketplace, and we hope to hook up with a good partner. Here's what we're looking for. Looking for an experienced partner in redevelopment projects. We're looking for somebody that has success. We're looking for somebody that has the financial capability and the character to work with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I know we're all excited about that project because it's in the heart of our city, and it will complement and actually add value to downtown. And that project, a lot of you are very familiar with it, been following it. We started that in 2007, and sometimes, you work with staff and so forth, and you have to show signs of courage. And I just want to compliment the commission and staff on that, because it had been very easy just to watch Midtown and do nothing. It took a lot of courage to step forward and to commit the dollars, the time frame, the work, and have the vision, and to hope that comes forth and presents the opportunities that we see in our community. So I just want to compliment the commission on having the courage to step forward and the staff to be able to work forward and stick with it. 2007 to now, a lot of work, a lot of time, but I can tell you, we're almost there. We're ready, and I believe you'll see that in the near future being a big milestone in our community. You've seen projects around the city. We want to take care of the heart of the city as well. Before I move on, is Mr. Matthew Linehan here? Mr. Matthew Linehan here? No? Okay, then I guess I have a new Visa card. If you know Matthew, get with me after the project. We found the card in the back of the room. We want to get it back to him. So if you happen to know him, please let us know so we can get it to him. Well, that concludes our program. I want to thank all of you who attended today. We're proud to share with you the tremendous amount of work that the city and our many partners have done to prepare for this day. A lot of hard work, a lot of hours, a lot of volunteer hours. We know how important it is not just to ask you for the opportunity, but to be engaged and to provide the culture the processes, the support for businesses, and brokers looking at our community. Today marks the beginning of our campaign to spread the word and awareness of not only the assets here, but a fresh look at the culture of our community. We celebrate our agricultural roots, as you saw today, and we embrace all other types of businesses in Plant City. Our region is growing, and Plant City is uniquely positioned, not only physically with our great location, but with the strength of our partnerships and leadership across the community that is driving smart and sustainable growth. We invite you to stay and meet with all of our speakers, our sponsors. We have information booths in the back of the room. And we also ask you to continue to follow us and take the next step in investing in Plant City. I want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, our city, our staff, our commission, everyone involved in making today's a successful event, and we'll be back again next year. Thank you again for coming today, and we look forward to working together as we continue to build a dynamic future for Plant City. Thank you very much.